And it says we are live.
Here we go.
Are we there? I don't know. You can't tell until they start talking.
Until you start seeing those comments show up.
Yeah, the comments have to show. And I'm not going to put on a big, long speech until I see a comment. And we'll see. We had quite a few people last week. In and out, in and out. But I get long-winded on here. You know how I am, Charles.
Well, it's a good talk, and you got a loyal following that comes in, and people come in and check on how things are going. Then they go about doing the other thing. That's the great thing about doing a live stream. You can have that come and go.
Yeah, that's true. And you just try to keep it going and things like that. And it's taking, I think it took. I know there's a few people viewing. I can see that. That was the difference with the old YouTube software. You could actually see how many people was consistently in there, more than the view count, and how long they was staying and whatever.
Yeah.
On this one, you can't do it. But there's a few people, 3 people looking in. But nobody's...
On your screen, maybe on your screen, like over there on the top where it says live, there should be a number. Isn't there a number?
Yeah, I have a number up there. Okay. It just don't give me when they come in. YouTube give a little more information, which really sometimes there's too much information. I don't really need to worry about that. Just to know
there's a real ease of using StreamYard and the way it handles things, and it's just you can do things with the backgrounds. You can put in you can do your entry music, your outros, backgrounds.
Right. Well, we've got a few people in here, but nobody's talking. Somebody talk so I know this is working. Somebody say something. I don't even care if you tell me to kiss your butt.
Careful now.
Yeah. Tell me something. Tell me something good. Oh, there we go. Now they're coming in.
That sounds like a song. Here we go. They're all flooding in now.
There we go. Somebody coming in. How y'all doing tonight? Look at this. They're there. You was there. I knew you was. It just took a minute. Welcome. I'm glad to see y'all here. Look who I got with me. It's Charles 75N. All the way from Austin, Texas, right?
Yeah, I'm in Round Rock, Texas, which is like just north of Austin, about 25 miles or so. And Great, that's good. Well, we got a lot of people coming in. I'll try to keep up with it. I lost track last week. I Ace went past me, but we got Texas Freedom Lover. He says howdy. Michael Krause, Crouse, Krause. I don't know. Shh, no one says anything. Just look. Real funny. Joel Michael's
Holmes,
got a great sense of humor, by the way. Yeah.
What is it?
Michael has a great sense of humor.
I like that. Hello, Joel Holmes. We're doing just fine. Decades of Music Time Machine, Hornback. You have a very long moniker there. My friend is Charles 75. I want y'all to remember, Charles has a channel too, and I want you guys to all go over and subscribe so you can catch his live chats. He does them on Friday night at 9 o'clock and Sunday at noon. And he gets on there, and they have a good time.
Yeah, Friday nights we have a Guitar Safari with me and Seth Presley of Presley California Customs, and we talk about all different things guitar. We usually have some kind of a theme, and then Sunday morning I do a kind of an interview show, chatting with Charles, and Doc was gracious enough to come on as a guest, so appreciate that.
And he was gracious enough to come on this side. So we're all here. Sylvia Foster, Tommy O'Domarock. How you doing, buddy? How's it going He's across the road from me. And the Sadie Lamp Duo. Good to see you too, buddy.
I love that channel. They are a lot of fun as a group.
They are. They're a lot of fun. Michael Chewing, we're here. Michael, do you have somebody with you, or are you possibly a split personality tonight? And Decades of Music Time Machine Hornbeck says hello, Charles. Oh, he said Charlie. All right. Well, I guess that works.
It does. I've been called a lot of things.
Yeah. Texas Freedom Lovers from the Big D. That's pretty
Yeah.
close to you.
Oh yeah, it's about 3.5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Cruise. Yeah. All right. I'm starting to catch up. I got to do something here real quick. So I was prepared, Charles. I really was. With all this, all the stuff I had going on today, but I did get my one notepad and got some of it going, so I can do things like put your address out. Everybody, look at this address. This is Charles' channel, and if you enjoy these live streams like this, you need to go check Charles's channel out. Go over right now and subscribe, and you'll get what do you call that? Prompted. No. Yep. What's the word?
YouTube notifications there for the shows if you're subscribed. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're subscribed, you'll get notifications for the shows. If you ring the notification bell when you subscribe, and you can also enjoy them, and you might see me over there. I might be on the show, or I might just be on there talking. And I don't type real well, so you can laugh at me when I do that. But follow the link and subscribe. Helton, my old man friend, how you doing, buddy? We're all here. Not according to my shrink. He said I'm definitely not all here. Of course, he's crazy. He's riding that crazy train. Hey, Helton. Oh man, hello, River Ducks. Your videos are amazing. Well, I don't know if I'd call them amazing, but they're comforting to watch.
I certainly agree with Rich. Your documentaries have been a source of real joy for me, because getting the background on these on a lot of these artists that I've been listening to for years, and finding out why things are the way that they are, right? And
that's it. It's just something short to watch and get some different information. So I try to dig up like stories that I've read about them and things you don't just see in normal interviews. And it just gives a little more insight on the musician, the artist. And that, I think that makes them a little more personalized. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially in those cases where you have an artist that's been interviewed many different times, and every time they're interviewed, they give a different answer. And one of the great things about your videos is when they do that, you bring it up, right? And so it's like, right. Sometimes he says this, and sometimes he says that, and the story's changed over the years. And
sure, they do. You know. People will come on and tell me, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, no, honestly, neither one of us know what we're talking about. And probably the people that told you the story that happened 40 years don't know what they're talking about. We just have to speculate on all of our heroes and things like that. And it's fun to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we all get wrapped up in it. And and we want to sit here. We have a lot of times we idolize these folks, and we want them to be great and wonderful people. And the thing is, some of the greatest music comes from really tortured minds and souls. And and the things you go through to get that, just haven't been great and wonderful. And the stories that may be told that go around that are clouded by substances and choices.
Right. Here's one that really, really, really gets to people, and it's the story of the Leonard Skinner plane crash. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And each of the survivors, had a story to tell of the plane crash, and all of them different, varied, wasn't true and everything. And well, they're lying or they're making this up. I said, think about this. Have you ever been in a plane crash, especially that killed 6 people and almost killed a dozen more and crippled people? I said, you'd have no clue. I said, their bodies all went into shock. Their minds went into shock. They don't know what the hell happened right after that crash. They was in shock. So they're going to tell what their mind happened. So you're going to get many varieties of stories, and even the stories that came from the first responders, the rescuers that went there. A lot of them weren't even paramedics. They was farmers from around there that went down, helped them come out. They're telling stories. Well, can you imagine walking up on a plane crash and seeing all these people in the middle of a swamp?
Yeah.
Your mind.
Well, here's the thing about that. You have 10 people witness on the same thing, and you're going to get 10 different accounts that don't agree with each other in the details, because it all comes down to, first of all, your perspective, how you view life in general, right? And how you're dealing with that particular trauma, and how you've been shaped by other things. And, and whether you're in, whether, like you're talking about, whether you're in shock and all that, and your mind does things to protect you. Right. And,
exactly.
so you're going to all come up with a different story, and those stories aren't going to jive, because everybody's going to see it from a different perspective, a different point of view.
That's
and
it.
And you grab those, and the way we really find out what happens is by comparing the things that are alike in those stories.
Exactly. That's the way it is. But when you're trying to relay stories like that, I mean, it's just the idea you want to relay it to people, like the one. Well, you noticed this week for April Fools, I put out a video on Gallagher. That was just kind of a thing. But I'm working on a video for a guitarist named Peter Green. I don't know how many people are familiar with him, but he was the original guitarist, and he was the one that started Fleetwood Mac. And he was only there for a few years, and it's a sad story because he had a lot of issues with mental health, and he really went down. He's an amazing guitar player back in the early days, but he was kind of like the research that I'm finding, Mick Fleetwood, who was the drummer, of course, and John McVie, the bass player, they're telling the story, that they was in Germany, and some guy, they started doing acid. And Peter Green says, I just never came down from the trip, and he really did. He went completely nuts. Let me go through a few more here. Charles, you got anything to say? Go for it. And now Sadie Lamp wants to see some nice hot rod custom guitars. We're going to get to that for Charles. Charles has to leave a little early. Probably you said about 9 o'clock, right? Or
right about 9 o'clock is where I've got to head out and pick up my son from work.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I promise, Sadie Lamp. I'm buffering the whole time. Well, honestly, my guess would be you might try to reboot and come back in, but that's probably from. Are you on a phone? Are you on a laptop? Are you on a router? Are you direct lined and everything like that? I would guess it's probably on your end. You might try it. And Ed and Sharon King were a great couple and people. Ed King was a very wonderful person. He really was, and a fine guitar player. And I do not know what his wife's doing now after Ed passed away, but he used to, him and her was on social media quite a bit. And we enjoyed that. What's it? Into Thin Air. The Everett's book was very different than the article he wrote, and had many inaccuracies in the article. The Everett's book, Into Thin Air. Are you talking about the mountain climbing book?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, Mount Everest. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure. Going through an airplane crash like that, your mind, your body's meant to shut down. Your mind shuts down.
Yeah. Just think about the experience of a car accident. How many details can you really remember after it? Right. It's
right. Yeah, even a car accident, it will. Any kind of accident, I remember when I was a kid, I had this rope swing that I'd climbed up a tree and put up and everything, and it went out. You could swing off this dry creek bank. It was like 4 foot. Well, I swung off of it and fell and landed right on my hands, and I broke both of my arms at the same time, all 4 bones, and my arms were in bows. And I was just a kid. Well, then I go, that's funny. Don't hurt. I got up and walked. It was like 2 football fields back up to my house, and I just walked up there. When I told my mom, she went into a total hysteric. But my mind shut down. I wasn't as scared, and I didn't feel any pain. And that's what happens a lot of time to people.
For sure. For sure.
Let's see what else we got. The out of phase humbucker sound. That's true. And I got a humbucker here I want to show everybody in just a second, too. I'm going to show it to Charles, too. He'll like this. Love Peter Green, the Peter Green song. Oh, well, there's a lot. He's got a great story, and I'm hopefully going to get that out next week.
I'm looking forward to that. I always love it when you drop something new.
Yeah. I try to get 3 to 4 out a month. It just depends. As I told you before we started the show, I'm working with my son and I'm helping him with his YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. So mine's gonna. I can get it all done. It's just going to take a little bit of thing. Here, I'll tell you what. Let's get on the track.
That's the thing, though. You don't mind waiting for it because the quality of what you're putting together is really great. So better to take a little more time with it than rush it, right?
Right. Yes, I like to take time, make sure I got some stories to tell. So it's not just the same typical documentary. I mean, the documentaries on everybody out there. You can find them if you look. But what I want to do, I want to show you something. And if you remember, Charles, here a while back, I asked you, I said, Charles, I'm looking for a single pickup guitar, like an Les Paul Jr., but I don't want I don't want to buy an expensive one.
Right.
Because the reason I want that, I'm going to have to scoot up here a little bit, is a very dear friend of mine give me this. Now, if y'all look, can you see that? It says Super Distortion Humbucker by DiMarzio.
Nice. That's a good choice.
Yes. And this is a very good choice. This is what I want to put in. Oh, man. I just dropped one of the screws out. I felt it hit my foot. I thought, I did. Oh, I know what it was. Wait a minute. This one. Now, when you find out
pick up down on the floor, the magnets would have picked up the screw.
Yeah, this one still has the sticker in it.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, it still has the warranty. Yeah, the warranty to fill out the warranty. Still has a warranty card. I'm going to take the 2 screws out of this. These are the 2 screws. Put them out. And now I'm going to pull this puppy out of here. And what you're going to see is something very rare. This is a DiMarzio Super Distortion. I'm going to hold it up there. You can see it. If you notice, oops, my camera's backwards. By my finger, you see them 2 little pinholes on the side? Right? There's 2 pinholes, and there's only one on this side, right?
Yeah.
That dates us back to the 70s. And back in the 70s, they started out, they had a 2-wire system, not a 4-wire system.
Mm-hmm.
This one has a 1-wire system with a ground around it.
Yeah. That braid is your ground, yeah.
This is one of the first ones they put out. And this one is a very, very powerful. It's almost too powerful. The pickup has a lot of problems feeding back, if you know what I'm saying. It's really strong. This was in a guitar. Right. It was in a guitar for a while. And the gentleman that owned it, he bought it. The thing I didn't show you was even the price tag is still on it. I don't know if you can read it. It's pretty worn. But the price tag is what they used to go for retail, was $80 when they came out.
Nice.
This one here, I've looked it up. Like you can find them on eBay and places like that. They're going for around anywhere from $300 to $400 a piece because they're really hard to come by.
Yeah,
and they scream. I had an older one. Mine wasn't a 2-wire or 1-wire. It was a 2-wire system. Had a 2-wire plus the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually not even positive how this one would wire. I'll probably take it and have it wired. But the one I had, I routed out a 1976 Firebird.
No, you didn't.
the little small hum. I routed it out and stuck that DiMarzio in. I mean, it screamed. I wanted to sound like Alan Collins, you know. But them pickups are really something else, and I want to find something. I got to find a guitar. I just want a single pickup guitar, which is the volume and a tone knob, kind of like a Leslie West type thing.
Yeah.
With one pickup, and I don't the P90s. I don't think I'd have to route it to put it in. I don't think the space would be big enough, you know, if it didn't have a humbucker.
Well, you could get, you know, an Epiphone Junior.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. An Epiphone Junior has a humbucker.
Yeah, see,
and I remember, see, just I remembered you had that. Now, if that's got a single pickup, right?
Yep.
How does that one play? How good does it play? Does it play good?
You know, it's an Epiphone Junior. In the the Epiphone necks are usually very comfortable. It plays nice. That one has got very few hours on it, and I bought it used, and I bought it to Fabric Top, and
I've been looking.
It still has the stickers on the pickup, so
so it's like brand new.
Yeah, it's pretty much brand new, and but that one's going to get stripped and fabric topped, and but you see that other Junior up there, the blue one there, that was my first fabric top project.
Oh, it was. Show it to us. Let's see one. Right. Throw it up to the camera. If you guys like these, Charles Reed does guitars. He puts a fabric top on them, and he's got videos on his channel that shows you how he does this and everything, and it's very, very cool. So if you get a chance,
this one
run by his channel.
Oh, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm just going to put your the link to your channel up there because people sees this and they'll want to see how you did this, and you can just go over there and subscribe and run through all of his videos and everything. Go ahead, Charles.
This was the first one I did, and it was a black Epiphone, just like the other one, except it's even smaller than the Junior, right? It's the Junior, right?
Right.
If you look, this body's actually a little bit smaller than the other one, and it's also an Epiphone. And but it was black, and the finish on it was so bad. You could see the lines of the wood underneath it. It was, when they had painted it, was really bad. Yeah, but the reason why I had bought this guitar, I had paid like maybe $30-40 for it. And I bought it because I wanted the neck, because I had a SG that had a broken neck that was shipped to me, and the neck was broken. And I was like, okay, I'll just grab another Epiphone. And of course, the Juniors and the SGs, different neck pockets. I didn't know that back then. So I got it. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do with the stupid guitar? Because I only bought it for the neck. And I was on Ben Coombs' channel in the chat, and I was like, hey, I bought this guitar, but now I don't know what I'm going to do with it, because I was only buying it for the neck. And it's like, should I paint it? Should I fabric top it? Because I heard about fabric tops, and I didn't know anything about fabric tops. But I was being funny, right? Could I paint it? Should I paint it? Should I fabric top it? And Ben stops what he was doing, and he reads it in the chat, and he says, well, you know what? You should fabric top it. There aren't enough fabric tops in the world. And so I went, watched a bunch of videos from Texas Toast and other folks on YouTube, and kind of learned how to do it. And this was my first attempt. And the idea behind this guitar was really simple. I wanted it to look like somebody fabric topped it in their basement back in the 70s, right? So it wasn't going to be all fancy. And so I wanted to have kind of a matte finish, right? A satin, kind of finish to it. And
camera.
We did the top and the back, and the white in here was really, really super white, and
so cool.
And the process just antiqued it all, right. And then so I got done with it, and I did the neck and the frets and all that stuff, and I was really happy with it. So we went ahead and we replaced the tuners with the vintage style tuners as well. And But the big thing was I was so proud of it when I got done that I was just gonna originally I was gonna just keep the original humbucker in it. And I was like, no, I'm happy with this. I want it to be something special. I wanted it to be something that no one had really done before, right? And so I got a TV Jones TV Classic Filtertron in it. So it creates a whole different animal than what it was, right?
Right.
And and then I did the little Charles 75N nameplate on it. It's like,
stick it up a little closer. Let me see the nameplate. Stick it up right to the camera where I can see it. There you go. That's great.
And you know, and this is and it's kind of, you know, the finish on this is kind of rough, but that was what I was kind of going for, and it was the first one that I did, and I was never intending to have a whole YouTube channel. I wasn't intending to do Fabric Top after Fabric Top. I thought this was going to be it, and then but I made a video when I did it because my friend, Ben Coombs was encouraging me to make a video of the process. Martin and Lucas from L&M Guitar Corner were encouraging me to make a video of the process of it, and and it got some views, right? It's like, we're like, okay, well, maybe there's something to this, and then and I ended up being on a hang on Ben Coombs' channel, and Unfucking Believable, one of his viewers was hanging out as well, and he's like, I really like that, and he had this thing where he was going to send Ben a Kramer Brita special in all parts, right? And the joke was Ben was going to have to put it, you know, he was going to get a bunch of different baggies and then have to put this guitar back together, and you know, and he was going to have to solder and all those things, and you know, for entertainment value, and make a set of videos on it. So after seeing that, Unfucking Believable, after seeing this, Unfucking Believable said, well, you know what? I'm going to send you the body. Why don't you Fabric Top the body?
That's a good idea.
And then we'll do it. And I was like, I got really nervous because I'd only Fabric Top this. I didn't really know what I was doing.
It looks
and to me, you know, Ben's channel was huge, right? I'm like, okay, well, if it's going to go to Ben, it's got to be good. And so I had, you see that Stratocaster that's over there? Had that, that had been sitting in the garage. It was a guitar I bought for $24 because I wanted to learn how to do fretwork. And I was thinking about, so I bought it for $24 just to rip the frets out of the neck and to refret it, which I never ended up doing. Because when it came in, it was such a cheap guitar. I was unhappy with it, right? Because basically I ordered it off of Goodwill online, and I paid, it was $24 to me shipped. That's how cheap and so I was like, oh well, if I'm going to do one for Ben, I better get another one under my belt, right? Before I do this and make sure I really know what I'm doing. And so. This is a Carrera Strat, and Carrera is a really inexpensive brand, and the quality materials went on it, but the neck was kind of nice. It felt kind of good, and it just needed some fretwork and stuff like that. And one of the things that I did with this, I was looking at this and I was like, and I was asking myself, back in the 70s, why did they just do the tops and the bottoms and paint the sides? Right. I was thinking, had anyone tried to wrap one around? And so when I did this one, I was like, well, I'm going to try to wrap the fabric around the sides. And so I did.
I think that looks great, man.
And here, here's the back. And then I did the headstock, did the headstock to match. But this is when I think back on Phil McKnight's channel, he was talking about Friedman guitars a whole lot. And so I tried to copy the curve in the headstock of the Friedman, make it look nicer than it was.
That is a sweet looking guitar.
Now, thank you very much. What I didn't, one thing that you can't do on a Stratocaster, you can't lay the fabric over the top of the horns these angles are too deep here. It's impossible. And so this first one. So on the horns here, it doesn't really show up on a camera, but these seams here are a little bit rougher.
Let me see if I can pull that closer. I'm not sure how to do this yet.
Well, if there's that box next on the left-hand side of my window in your thing, you click that, it'll solo me out.
I'm doing it, but it's not doing nothing.
All right, well, no worries, but you can see I can get that up pretty close. And
yeah, we might have to do that
on the top and bottom. So this is a separate piece of fabric that goes from the top of the horn here to the top of the horn here.
Right. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so this was the first time I had done that. So these seams are kind of rough. Now I do them, and they're really super smooth, and you really can't. It's hard to kind of tell. But when you do a strap, I also, since I'm wrapping, so what I do is I'll take the fabric and I'll wrap it over the top and then onto the sides, and then I have to make a relief cut on each of the middles here. So there's a relief cut here where I put a patch, and then a relief cut on the other side. And and that was how I figured out to do it. And then I get all that fabric stiffened up with either some sanding sealer. In the early days, I just used a poly, but now I use a sanding sealer. And you cut it, and then I would trim that fabric off, and then I lay the back fabric and blend it in as much as I can.
I gotcha. How thick is that fabric that you use, Charles?
It is just like a regular sewing fabric. Let me.
I mean, just like material you'd go and buy somewhere.
Yeah, just like you go into Joann's or Hobby Lobby or wherever. This so this is a fabric for a future Telecaster build, and you can see that this fabric is, it's not that thick at all.
No, it's not.
It's just like the fabric on your shirt.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. How did you say you learned to do this? Just trial and error.
Well, when once I had opened my big mouth and said I was going to make it a fabric top, I had to go watch some videos on how to do it. And Texas Toast, the guitar maker out in Denver, Colorado, they had made a bunch of fabric topping videos, and I kind of watched their process, and I watched some processes of some other folks that were fabric topping guitars out there, and kind of took what they did and then kind of did what made sense to me. Like originally sanding sealer, I wasn't able to get my hands on in the beginning, so I used a brush on poly in the beginning to firm up my fabric, and then I used a one stage poly clear for the gloss coat. Watching them and watching other videos, and then once you start doing it yourself, you kind of learn you kind of learn some tricks that make things easier, right? You learn you learn about patience and what patience does, and how important prep work is, and all those things that you don't really get on some of the videos. And so as I was making guitars, I was making videos of doing them. And you can go back and look at the when I did the junior video, the very first one. I polyed that here in this room, which was not incredibly smart. I had exhaust fans going, and it was like, I'm like, that it was really stupid. But I think it was winter, and I was trying to get it done. And
great.
Well, I don't know, maybe was it winter? I don't know. It's in my memory, it's winter, but that's probably not true.
Yeah.
Sadie Lamp Duo, yes, you could do a polyurethane snakeskin guitar. There are tons of really great snakeskin fabrics out there, and that would take weld in the process.
Right. Yeah, that'd be a snakeskin. You ought to make one and send it to Nugent.
Yeah,
the snakeskin cowboy.
That's an idea.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one of the things that I was watching all the Fabric Top videos, Doc, nobody wrapped the sides of the guitar. Everybody always painted them, and I was like, I get what they want to do. They, it's you do it, and then you kind of do the burst around the edges. And when I did the blue one, I tried to do the burst, and it didn't come out the way I didn't like the way the burst came out, and so I stripped it off, and
Right.
I just let it go like that. And then I decided when I did the Strat, I wanted to see if I could wrap the fabric on the sides. It was because, like I said, if it went horribly wrong, it didn't make a difference. It was a $24 guitar. It's like
Exactly. Yeah, you didn't hurt anything.
And but it's this guitar is it has been a favorite on the channel. It's one of the most heavily viewed ones.
Oh, that was really cool.
So I plan on doing another one like this now that I'm a lot better at it, because there's a lot of little things on this one that you can't see, right? that I have perfected, and so over time period,
Right.
And so then the next thing was I was going to do. I wanted to. I got interested. I love double bound guitars. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll double bind a guitar. And so in the Telecaster is like the perfect animal for that, right?
Right.
There's nothing better than a 60s Telecaster double bound.
Oh yeah.
And so when I got around to doing this one, I found this fabric, and when I found this fabric, I was okay. I know where this is going. I know what we're doing here. And the really cool thing that I love about double binding them, I can put a piece of fabric on the top. I can put a piece of fabric on the bottom. I can put another piece of fabric on the sides. And I don't have any of the seams that I normally have to work hard to get rid of.
Exactly.
But it does mean then I have to double bind. I had to learn how to bind. And again, I watched Texas Toast, and I watched how they did their binding and picked it up from there. I watched a bunch of other channels and to see how they did their binding. But I will give credit to Texas Toast for pretty much everything I know about it, because I went to them first with everything.
Right.
And so, we did this one, and not only did I bind it, but I've got there's a black binding on the inside and then a cream binding on the outside.
Right.
And then I found this hardware that just added.
Right. Now, did you put that binding on there yourself?
Yes.
That's cool.
I had in order to do this, I had to learn to bind. And this is the first time I've ever bound a guitar.
Right.
And so and this was maybe a year ago, I think, in doing this. And so learning how to do it, and the first time I did it, it did not come out great. And so I stripped all that binding off and I rebound it. And so, but I was really happy with this binding job. The cool thing is you got different figures both on the front.
Right. Yeah.
And different, a different set of figures on the back.
Yeah. That's so cool.
That
is so cool.
And we did the heads, and we did the headstock as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I like the headstock done like that too. I think the headstock really sets it off.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love it. I love doing the headstocks on them, and whether you do the headstock really depends on the guitar that you're working on.
Right.
And hold on, I'll come right back.
That's all right. Go ahead. That's cool. Thank you. He'll be back. We're not going to stay on too late tonight, guys. I've got a few things. I've got videos out, and I'm helping somebody else with another channel. So I've got a few things to do. I won't be able to probably stay the 2 hours I usually do. But I want Charles, he wanted to come on. I want y'all, like I said, go over and subscribe to his channel, and we'll have you can look some more at some of them guitars and everything.
Thank you, Doc. Yeah, I'm back. My wife accidentally tripped the alarm, and
That's what I figured. I knew you said she was coming in from work, and
yeah,
that sounded like a house alarm.
yeah,
And
it was. Um, but so this was, and this was one, like the other ones were just they were beginning ones, right? And so this was the one that was like, okay, I'm going to challenge myself to do what is the best thing I can do. Can I make something that looks professional?
right,
And so this one is kind of my pride and joy, and I show it off everywhere.
yeah,
And
that with that binding around it, that is like the finishing touches. I mean, it's
oh, thank
really
you.
it is. It's really cool.
Well, I have, and it is, one of the things comes from, I don't have a lot of money for guitars,
Right.
and I am on a budget, and so the only way that I was going to get really nice stuff is if I made it. And so one of the things I've always wanted is a 60s double bound Telecaster, right?
Gotcha. Right,
And so I
right,
was like,
right.
well, this was how I was going to get one.
You know what? And it works. I've got a Telecaster sitting behind me right here.
Mhm.
It was made by that Donner company,
Yeah.
and I can hook it up and play it, and it sounds exactly like a Telecaster should. It it had some issues. It needs, like, you know how a lot of the cheaper guitars are, the frets on the neck, along the neck, they didn't file them down or anything. You know, did somebody set your alarm off again?
Yeah, I got to figure out what's going on. Give me a
All right,
minute.
go ahead. Go ahead. But anyway, I had that Donner guitar, guys, and I ordered it off of eBay, and it was it's called a refurbished, and I had the guitar delivered to my house, and I got it for under $100. I don't think it was $92. I opened it up, and for $92, that was a lot of guitar. It really was. Let's go through a few more. Who we got here? Michael Cruz. I remember seeing him. Swatted. I know what you're talking about there. Yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna be around for a while. Charles will have to take off. He's got to leave here in a few minutes. And we'll talk a little bit more about music if you want to, and some things like that. I'll stick around for at least till probably about 9:30. I'll be here, and that's going to be it for me.
Doc, I'm so sorry.
Oh, well, now see Awakening Soldier. I have to bring that soldier out. I don't know if Charles plays in the band or not. He just he just takes old guitars and makes them look so cool.
No, Charles doesn't play in any bands. Charles is actually a beginner guitarist, right? I hit 50, and when I hit 50, it was during COVID, and I had some time on my hands, and I looked around. And I says, you know what? I don't want to have some regrets. And I had been a musician throughout my life. As a kid, I played clarinet, and I played bass clarinet. I played all four saxophones, all the way.
Wow.
So I was in band all the way through high school, right? All the way through school.
Exactly.
And I had when my son wanted to learn violin, but he's like, Dad, I want you to learn with me. And so we took violin lessons together.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So, and I've dabbled in piano as well. I can play a little bit of piano if I work at it, right? I can, I can play a song at it. And so one of the things I had always wanted to do throughout my life was I wanted to learn to play the guitar. And so I hit 50, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this now. And so, and I've been learning a little bit here and a little bit there. And that was how I got into the whole YouTube thing. And I started watching Phil McKnight and Ben Coombs and Steve from Boston. And it was how I came to find your show and, your documentaries and all that. And that stumbled into just watching things to I'm a kind of guy that likes, when I like learning something, I want to know how everything works. And so that meant, you need to work on your guitars. And so that was what the big attraction of watching Phil in the beginning was. He would show you how to do stuff and, how to work on guitars. And
right.
And so when it came up for the option for am I going to paint the guitar or am I going to fabric top it? Well, I don't know how to fabric top it, but okay, you want me to fabric top it? I'll fabric top it. And so I went and learned how to do it, right? And so if I hadn't started fabric topping guitars, I'd probably be a lot further along in my playing.
Exactly. We all do with music. It's all what's inside of us. How well you play or how well you don't play doesn't make a difference as long as you enjoy it. And that's the way I've always looked at it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm learning new things all the time. And I wish I had more time to play. There was a while there where I was practicing every day.
Right.
And I grew kind of a whole bunch during that time period. I've got I've got some songs I can play, and you watch some of the playing on my channel, it could be kind of scary at times. Demo stuff. But I haven't usually played, haven't played whole songs on my channel yet. I'm not that comfortable.
Right. Hey, Charles, do you know can you put a picture up on this, like a picture from your computer onto here?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Okay, you see down on the bottom on your menu there, you have mute, stop, cam settings, and present. Okay, you can click that present button there.
Okay.
And you can tell it to share screen, or you can tell it to share file, whatever. I usually just share screen. So for example, if I was going to share the screen here, and then once it opens, you get this window that says Chrome tab, window, or entire screen. I always click the entire screen because whatever you throw in front of it after that point is going to be displayed.
Oh, right. Now that's where I'd screw up though, because this computer here, I'm running 2 monitors and I never know which one it's going to default to.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. When you tell it to share the entire screen, it's going to show you all your screens. And so if you walk through that with me, you can see. Okay,
wait a minute. But I have to. I wanted to show a picture of me when I played piano, and the piano that I was playing at the time. I just can't. I need to get the picture up first, though.
Okay, put the picture up on the screen that you're not using.
Okay.
Okay, and so now you're going to click that present button.
Okay.
Oh, let me know when you get your picture up. I just assumed you already had it up.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see how to make it a full screen.
Thank you, Awakening Soldier. Appreciate that.
Well, that's good enough. You'll get the idea of how long ago it was when I was playing piano and keyboards and stuff. Okay, so I got extra camera slides, share screen.
Right. So share your screen.
Okay, and you guys get ready for this.
Click that entire, go to the tab on the far right where it says entire screen.
Wait a minute. I don't have a tab that says screen sharing is easy with 2 monitors. Screen share works best on a good computer. I have a good computer. Okay. Oh, that's a tip. It's showing me a tip. Okay. Right. Hit share screen, right?
So hit share screen.
There's the tab.
And it opens a window for you, right? And then you have Chrome tab, Windows, and entire screen. Select the entire screen, and then it shows you your different screens you have available. And then you just click onto the one that you want. For example, I'm going to share the one. I'm sharing the one. If you look down and below there, and down below in the green room, you can see the screen that I'm sharing. And if you add that, everyone else can see it.
Okay, let me try this now. Now remember, don't be shocked, because this picture is about 40 years old.
Oh, wow.
And you can date that if you want to, because the keyboard on top is a Yamaha DX7 when it was new. And that's a helping steel. The piano.
This has got to be, this is late 70s, early 80s, right?
Yeah. This is probably in the 80s. I would guess.
Do you know how I dated it?
How's that?
The fan.
The fan.
The oscillating fan.
Yeah. That's an oscillating fan. And that was carried, our road crew carried fans and stuff, because as you can see, we had a certain look there, and that is leather, and it is hot. you know, but
leather on your bright lights, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, it was. I'll be darned. I did that. So that's how you do it. Now, how do I get out of this? Just go back to my, that.
See, you can just go back.
Stop sharing.
Mm-hmm. You can just click the stop sharing, and
it
automatically goes away.
Oh, now it's working, where I can change this. I couldn't do that before. I would hit them and they wouldn't do anything.
Well, now you just had to kick it. That's all.
Yeah. I'm figuring this out. You guys have to please give me time. This is the way I'm figuring this software out, so I can do these live streams, because I got some cool pictures of different groups and everything. And as you see, Helton here, he has this. I don't how many photos you got, Helton, to share. This is
all the folders, all the photos from what I hear.
Yeah, Helton. I get a lot of my photos from my documentaries from him. He was a photographer and a road manager, and he played some music, and he did bodyguard work. He did a bunch of things during the 80s, I guess. I mean, he'll have to tell you his life story someday. But I've seen some pictures that he done. He's got a bunch of really cool ones. I've seen he's been showing on Facebook of Molly Hatchet, and they're very cool. And let's see. I have trouble keeping up with it. See, if you notice me, I have to tip my head like this because of the glasses, they're bifocals.
Yeah.
And the distance between my face and the computer screen is not in. These are just bifocals. They're not trifocals. So there's a fine line that I can see.
I do the same thing with my bifocals, which is why I don't wear them on. I need mine to read. I don't necessarily need them to do this, so I usually don't wear them when I'm doing this. But
Helton has over 100,000 or more photos, and he's been scanning and putting new ones up all the time. Yeah, well, I'm gonna try to get him on here. I know how now. I kind of know how that works, and I can probably just, if I have the one desktop, I can probably put them pictures in a folder and just click through them one at a time, and they'll change as they click through.
And Doc, we can get on a stream, a private stream together, and I could show you through all this stuff and help you figure it all out.
Man, I'd appreciate that, Charles. I would. I don't want to take. I know what time. I know how important time is.
It was. It was done. Ben Coombs did it for me. I'm more than I'm more than happy to do it for other people. It's how we all get along in this community, right?
Right, exactly. I got to get Ben to come in. We can all three sit here and we can watch Ben do bong rips and stuff.
There we go. It'd be fun, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just fun. It's like getting together, with friends and everything. Because like you, I mean, I've been on Facebook since 2012. Doing videos and watching. I mean, it's my go-to. I don't watch TV hardly at all. I watch YouTube. And when I got on there, like I said, I met you guys because you guys started watching my videos, and just talked. And then I'd been on a couple of other shows. I had some people that I was on. They like to hear me talk and tell stories, so I do. And then I got on.
You got the voice. It's
but I don't have the mind anymore. I have trouble. Age is starting to catch up with me a lot. I can't think, and sometimes my stories I can't remember what the story is, so I just have to make something up. As most stories are, they're never the exact truth, as we talked about earlier. We're just what we remember of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, Doc, I'm gonna leave you out here because my alarm is still kind of going crazy. I can hear it in the background, and I know my wife isn't doing anything, and I'm gonna have to head out here in a minute anyway. So,
Charles, it was fun having
thank
you,
you
man.
so
I'm
much for
glad you
having
came
me
on.
on. It was a ball.
Anytime I'm doing one, you see me and I'm doing it and I don't have anybody there, you want to come on and just talk and everything like that, feel free to do so. Just you got my number or something, just hit me with a text, or because I don't have a my notification on my email, so I don't know if when they come in or anything like that. But
All
you're
right.
more than welcome to come on anytime. Just come by for a few minutes and say hi to everybody.
I appreciate that, Doc. You have a great rest of the show. Thank you, everybody.
Well,
I appreciate y'all.
take care, Charles. Bye.
All right, bye, bud.
That was Charles 75N. He's got a good channel. He's a really good guy. I want you guys to all do me a favor. Just go over. Here's his address. Go over and subscribe to his channel for him. We're trying to want to get him up there to where you can have I forget what he was trying to, where his subscriber count was, but get some people. If you like guitars, Charles is a nice guy. And like I said, he does do a live show with him and Seth from Presley California Custom Guitars. That's on Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. He does a show where he has a guest on that just talks, kind of like me and Charles just did here. He does that on Sunday at noon. So if you have anything to do, you can just go by and listen to him and give him some subscribers. He needs it. We all need to help each other. I got more subscribers than I need right now. My channel's a pain to keep up with. Yeah. Oh, he's at 374. Yeah, I think he's got more than that now. Let me look and see what he's got. He's got 395 now. Let's see if we can get him up to 400. I don't know. Probably a lot of you are subscribed to him already. But just go by there and subscribe right there and see if we can get him up to 400 and surprise him tomorrow. So what's the latest been going on in the music world? I'm going to be on here about 30 more minutes. And the one thing that I heard this week, and I want to see if any of you have heard about it, it seems that Don Henley, the drummer and vocalist for the Eagles, they have got proof out on YouTube that he was lip syncing for the song Desperado on his live show. Now, did anybody hear that, or do they know anything about it? I know where I heard it. I seen the proof, and sadly, it's definitely true. There's no doubt about it. He was lip syncing to Desperado, which I understand the point. I mean, my God, lip syncing's been going on since the beginning of time. With music, a lot of them just lip synced and played to their records in the early TV shows. But you are talking about a group that charges very, very high dollars for their tickets nowadays. And they're up there lip syncing. Do you agree with that or not? Should they be able to? Because I know there's lots of bands that's been doing it for a long time. Kiss has been doing, Kiss did it for the last 4 years before they retired. Thank you, Sylvia Foster. We appreciate that. It happens a lot. And you know what one of the reasons for that is, the songs they're bringing back to us was done in the 70s, okay? Back when they was, 20 and 30 years old. Now, I can sing a little bit. I'm no singer like Don Henley or whatever. But I can assure you, I cannot sing and hit the notes that I could back in the 1970s and 80s. It is impossible. My voice won't do it. And that happens as you get older. My thing is, though, I'm not charging people to hear me. They are, and should they be? And this is something that's coming out on YouTube also, with all the AI generated voices and automation. When you upload videos now, you have to tell them if you've done that, because they're going to put a disclaimer on the videos that if you have changed anything around, or or taken anything like that. So should a band have to put a disclaimer on their tickets that they are lip syncing now? What do you think? No, it was Don Henley doing Desperados, the song, but I don't know if there's more or not. I will tell you where you can find it. If you look up, there's a gentleman has a channel, and it's called Wings of Pegasus. And he has all the tools, and he knows what he's talking about. His name is Phil, F-I-L. And he's on YouTube, and you can find this video. He was the one that came out and said, look what they've done. And he had a copy of Randy Meisner when he sang Take It to the Limit back in 1977 or 76. I mean, that the great performance live of Take It to the Limit. And they put it in the studio. They had taken the live performance and put it in the studio and put a pitch controller on it. And if you listen close, you can hear it took all the beautiful waivers that Randy put in his voice and just made him nail the notes. I mean, each note, there was no, it's just like a horn player. They don't hit them notes around the money. They slide into them, just like a guitar player does a stretch. He's not on pitch perfect. He's just bringing it there. Well, they've done that. Well, Phil from Pegasus, Wings of Pegasus, showed that. And I was interested in his channel, and I kept watching it. And somebody had sent him a video of Don Henley singing Desperado the year before, back in 2023. And somebody sent him a video of Don Henley singing it in 2024. And the vocals are exactly the same. And nobody can sing a song exactly the same way every time. It don't happen. And we're talking about exactly perfect. The timing, the pitch, and everything is exactly the same. So he did break that. Here's the thing. He can't not do that song. The Eagles, he'd have to do Desperado. I mean, and he has to do it. And he could drop the key and probably do it, but he didn't want to, because it wouldn't sound the same. Desperado done in any key, but I think it was written in G, would not be the same. Yes, it's exactly true. There's a lot of people that they're recording the music and everything. They're faking the music, and we don't know what the Eagles are doing. I have no clue. They could be that music. The whole piano piece could have been recorded in that. We just don't know. Exactly. This is the thing. You don't mind paying your money, but don't cover up. And they're covering up. And it's too late to do anything about it. Their run's just about over. They'll be out of there pretty soon. But, they shouldn't do that. That they really, I don't know if they should or they shouldn't. People want to go see the Eagles for the last time. Joe Walsh is awesome. Exactly. If I went to see the Eagles, I would go just to see Joe again, because how much longer is he going to be playing? Will he, after the Eagles, will he go back out and play anymore? Or is he going to pack it all in and retire himself? He's getting old. Joe's up there 75, 76 years old now. Well, hello, Kevin Pittman. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Yeah, you saw that. I don't have nothing against it. I understand why they do it. You know, they're trying to give the fans a last round and everything, but he was doing that last year, it seems. And you know, you do get to where you can't pitch them notes anymore. You know, and you can't take a chance on it. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is because there's so much automation and now in music, and I am totally old school music. I don't even like when I sit there and play on my guitar. I don't even like to put a lot of effects on it. I just like to hear a guitar through the amplifier grinding out some cool rock and roll. That's me. You know, I understand how fans are. They want to hear their heroes and everything. You know, I used to go to Buffett concerts, and I assure you, there was no auto tune or anything on old Jimmy. Everything he did was real. But you know what? It was real. I just think when you charge them prices, I have no clue what high dollar tickets are going for the Eagles, but they're very expensive. The VIP tickets I know are over $2,500 per ticket. And I guess they're doing it for money. Maybe. I don't know how much it takes to move their shows or anything like that, but it is expensive. Linda Ronstadt did do a killer version of that song. You know, she did. Definitely. Eagles sold out. I don't understand. Joe didn't. He left to put out music that wasn't commercialized. Sorry, I don't understand that, Soldier. Awakening Soldier. I'm not sure what you mean there. Yeah, I hope Joe keeps playing. You know, he's a breath of fresh air. And honestly, Joe Walsh is one of my. I really have a lot of respect for him. He's one of my heroes. You know, he had a rough life, and he drank. He was really bad before the Eagles got back together the second time. He was right at the end, and he quit and went right back to, and never went back to drinking or drugs. He completely cleaned up his act, and that's not easy to do for somebody that drank like he did. He was amazing. He's just an amazing guitar player. Joe's really he's a different style of slide player than, say, a Dwayne Allman or whatever, but his slide playing is so cool. I mean, he's really good at it. Actually, there's been somebody singing the high notes for the Beach Boys for a year. Right now, the one guy just passed away that was with Brian Wilson. No, that was with Mike Love, I believe, because Mike Love has the Beach Boys and Brian Wilson has another set that goes out. And Al Jardine from the Beach Boys, his son does all the high parts now. You know, I mean, I don't think, you know, Brian Wilson went spastic. I mean, you know, he had a bad mental problems, and he left the band a long time ago. And here's something funny for you. Here's a bit of trivia. I know this is a fact. In the early years when Brian left and walked out from the group and didn't tour no more, you know who sang his high parts? It was Glenn Campbell. He was singing the high parts on their live shows. But they've had somebody sing them high parts. You know, I don't think Brian Wilson sang a high part since the late 60s. I haven't seen Jimmy in a long time. I seen him back in St. Louis. You know, his bass player, drummer, and guitar player are from St. Louis. They was a band in St. Louis. They was called PM. And I actually did a show with them one time years back. They're really a great band, and Jimmy hired them here out of St. Louis, and they've been with him ever since. Glenn Fry's son, his name is Deacon. He's with them now on the End of the Road tour. He went ahead and done that. So he's out there with them. The Confessor album, yeah. That's a good one. I always liked his stuff back with the James Gang, but I just like Joe Walsh, period. I like him as a person and a guitar player. I'll listen to him no matter what he was playing. He was drunk when we met. Who are you talking about, Joe Walsh? I mean, back before, what was it, 94, he was drunk all the time. He was drunk on TV shows. He was drunk everywhere he went. Yeah. Joe's an all right guy, man. There's no doubt about it. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I knew he was I knew he started playing with James Gang up in Cleveland. I wasn't sure what year he started. Yeah, but I do too. I would love to, I keep my fingers crossed that maybe after the Eagles go ahead and finish this End of the Road tour, that maybe Joe will make some surprise guest appearance with Don Felder, because Felder's out playing now. I'd love to hear Felder and Joe Walsh play again. I thought they was one of the better guitar duos of rock and roll in the late 70s. And Felder's a decent guy, but he'll never play with the Eagles again. Not since he sued him and wrote that book with all that information. And not to mention, I love that book because it told a lot of good, juicy gossip on the Eagles. Yeah, Timothy Schmidt back in the day. Timothy Schmidt played bass for Jimmy Buffett. Down here, I shot. There's a video out there down here in Florida. It was right before the group from St. Louis I told you that joined them. They started playing with him, and it was when between the Eagles breakup, and Timothy went out and did a tour with Jimmy Buffett. Did a great job on bass and singing harmony and everything. There's some videos out when Timothy played. Boss guy, you want me to tell you somebody that I know for a fact? Now, he didn't drink as much, but I mean, when his bus took off and went down the highway, it was like a giant torpedo with smoke coming out the back. I mean, what was BJ Thomas? Remember the guy that did Hooked on a Feeling? Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. I can't think of all. He had quite a few pretty big songs. These guys, man, they smoked. They smoked going down the line. I think they would have had Bernie Ledden back. I don't think he wanted to do it. Don't quote me on it, but he had an open invitation. He played with them in 2013 and did a tour. And he was going to get back. Glenn Fry had told him that, if we do this again, we'll do it like this. And then Glenn passed away and everything went, and now it was just Henley running it. And I think he was invited back, but decided he just didn't want to go out, and he was having fun. Bernie's just playing his bluegrass and country Americana type music and making albums, and he'll go out and play a little show once in a while and he's just happy with his music where he's at. I don't think he wanted to go out on a tour like that. But I'm not saying I'm right. Oh, Rocky Mountain Way, man. That was rock and roll slide guitar, bad to the bone. Cool song. Joe was great. Let's see. Hit me with a look. One of the best bands I ever saw. Corky Siegel. That name don't ring a bell with me. Where are they located? Give me a little info on them. Because the only way I can't remember all this, guys. And then I have to go back through these videos and look at your comments so I can say, man, they told me to check out this band. I want to look at this guy and whatever. But I do. I don't mind the bands if they have to drop the key or they can't quite hit the notes. I understand that. You just can't. As you get older, that's part of life. But if you want to hear the band, and like I said, I have a lot of problems with the bands that don't even have the original members. And if you look at the Eagles, Don Henley's the only original member of the Eagles. But they I don't know. It's cool. Great harp player. I have to check that out. I do like some harmonica music. I do. Besides that, hi, Rapier. Rapier P. You're new. Yeah, I knew what you're talking about. It's cool. Montrose and Trapeze. Oh yeah, the Eagles opened up for excuse me. They was on a bill with Jethro Tull one time. And they was on they played Cal Jam. What was it? 75, I believe. It was 74, 75 back when Deep Purple was on there and all them and Johnny Winter on there. I don't remember. Deep Purple was on there. That was the one where Richie Blackmore blew up his amp and lit him on fire and then threw him out in the crowd. Mountain. Leslie West. Felix Pappalardi. Corky Lang. Right? It's Dave, man. Open up. It's me, man. Hey, open up. It's me, Dave. Dave who? No, man, it's me, Dave. Dave, I got the stuff, man. Open it up. Dave? Yeah, Dave, man. Dave's not here. Yeah, I can believe that. That sounds like something he did. When it just happens, and that's fine. The one thing, like I said, the Stones, Mick can still sing because he never had that high of a voice and never did stuff like that anyway. And besides that, the Stones just don't care, whether they play. They just go out and play because they want to and have fun. Mick don't care if he can't hit a note. Nobody cares. They just want to see Mick. They just want to see him. Those were the days. They sure were. It was great days, too. I was glad to be raised in that time. Yeah, I don't keep up too much with harp players, but Rapier there seems like he knows a little bit about them and everything like that. I don't know. West Bruce and Lang, yeah, that was one of a kind band, that's for sure. Yeah, well, Jack Bruce played bass with Leslie West too in Mountain after Pappalardi and them kind of split up, and then Pappalardi got killed. You'll have to enlighten us on the blind owl, of course. Now, I'm not much up on harp players, but you're more than welcome to say your piece on them, Rapier. Tell us about them. It always gives people things to look up and to enjoy. You're more than welcome to talk about them on here. Yeah, Keith, I remember that. Keith did some things. A lot of them done things. It was fun to hear. You know, it was all great back in the distance. Yeah, the organ player for Mountain. Yes, it was. Again, I want to ask you all to do me a big favor, okay? Before I go here, I'm putting up the link to Charles 75N's channel. Go by and subscribe for me, please. We're trying to get his channel going just a little bit more. And if you're not doing anything, just click the link, go over there, fly by real quick, and hit like or hit the subscribe button and a notification button. Like I said, I'm on there every once in a while. I'll go on his show and we just kind of throw it back and forth. You know, he does more of guitar repair and guitar talks, but on Sundays it's a little bit different. It's more of like we do here. We just talk about what we want to and everything. But if you go by and click that link and get him, we're trying to get him up to the 400 subscribers. And right now he's sitting at, let me look, 395. Come on, there's got to be 5 people here that would go over and hit subscribe for me. To Charles, 75N. Good guy. He's a good friend, too. One of the internet friends you meet. You know, I don't do bands, so to speak. I just do guitar. I just usually do guitar players a lot for my videos. And the big problem I have, the farther back it goes, the harder it is. Mostly the information, I take my information a lot from books. I don't get a lot of it from the internet, so to speak, like Wikipedia. I don't use that. But it's finding photographs to go along with the pictures. Like there's some people out there that I've done, you can't find a baby picture or a high school picture, one of them. Well, how do you talk about, it's hard to talk about their life and not have a picture or two to show of what they look like. You know what I'm saying? So some of them is hard. Canned Heat was great, though. I love them on Woodstock. They kicked. Oh, wow. You're getting some good concerts there in Dallas. I didn't know Dave Mason was still playing or singing. Last time I seen him, he was with him and Mark Farner was doing something together. They was singing their ass off too. They sounded great. But anyhow, folks, I'm going to stay on here about 5 more minutes. So if you got anything you want to say or you want to talk to anybody or this, that, and the other, go for it. But I got to get off here. But it's getting close to 9:30. Gypsy JJ, how you doing? Good to see you. I replied to your email. I got an email from you. I replied to it. Yes, I did. Hang on just a minute. You're very welcome. Thanks, JD Lamb. You know, I just told them guys they want to come on and talk too. You know, they like to talk about anything and everything. I just wanted to introduce Charles to some of you guys, you know, because I know a lot of you are just like me. We're, you know, guitar junkies and love having guitars around and this, that, and the other. And Charles is the same way. You know, he just enjoys guitar. He don't play in bands or nothing. He just likes to play for himself and enjoy it. Like I said, I used to play in bands, but not anymore. Let me see if I got one more picture that I can show you guys. And this picture here is going to be hard to see, but the cool thing about this is the guitar that I am holding. Okay, now you're going to see how old this is. This was a still taken from back before we had video cameras. What'd you have? 8mm movie projectors and everything. Now get ready to look at this picture and you tell me. I will tell you the guitar I'm holding does not have the original tailpiece on it. Let's see if you know what it is. And let's see if I can do this. Okay, you ready? Look at this guitar. And this is me. And I was just a teenager back then. So you know how long ago this has been. Look at that guitar. And when I tell you what it is, this is going to really, really freak you out because I wish I had this guitar now. I had the original tailpiece for it, but it was taken off and they put the stop tailpiece on it because that vibrato, there was a vibrato on it that didn't stay in tune. But that right there was one of the first SGs made. It was made in 1961. It was called a Les Paul. Even the nameplate up on the top up there, the nameplate said Les Paul on it. It was a 1961 model. It was one of the first ones made. I have the serial numbers wrote down. I had that guitar. It was actually, I had a Telecaster, but it was really the first Gibson that I ever had, you know, and I was all of about, I say probably about 17 years old there. Yeah, it's SGs. It was one of the first SGs, but this was when Gibson had decided they was going to change the Les Paul, and this is what, yeah, it was a beautiful guitar. It was what come out, and they was going to call them Les Pauls. Well, you know, people still wanted the Les Paul style body and everything. And because like I said, well, let me show that. Let me see if I don't know if I can show that one more time or not. Anyway, the pickup on this one is different than a regular SG, the neck pickup. It's right up against the neck, and they spaced them out a little bit later on in 62. But that was a 61. It was one of the first one made. I bought it off a guy. I bought it off a guy in downtown St. Louis. I paid $300 for that in the hard shell case. And if memory serves me correct, I sold it for $350 in 1975, I think. I sold it in 1975 for $350. And I bought a Gibson, a Firebird, a brand new Firebird with the money. Yeah, I was a cute kid, man, you know. But that's many, many years ago. I even had hair back then. You missed the other picture, didn't you, Gypsy JJ? Did you see the picture of me playing keyboard? You know, I've heard that story. I don't know if it's true or not, but I did hear that. I don't know if it's true or not. I'll show that picture for some of you one more time, and then I'm going to have to run. Let me find it here and call it up. There we go. I'm starting to figure this out, man. With Charles's help and everything, I'll be all right. Here we go. Now this one is from I was a little older at this time. That was my teen years. This is more like my late 20s and early 30s. But that's what I used to look like when I played. Years ago. Years and years ago. And like I said, the keyboard there, the top one was a new Yamaha DX7. And the bottom one, that was actually a real piano, and them keys folded down into the road case. It was all electric. Or it wasn't electric, it was acoustic. It had an acoustic pickup across it, the piano did. But the DX7 was really the cool thing to be back then. So anyhow, that's it from here, guys. It's 9:30. And I'm going to have to go ahead and pick it up and pack it up and take it back down the highway. Y'all want to come back again next Thursday? I think we might try to do this again. Thursday nights seem to be working out for me, as long as I don't stay on too late. Doc used to rock. Doc don't rock no more. This Doc don't rock. You got a DX7? I had that one for a long time. I got rid of it. That piano that you see in there, I give it to a friend of mine. He still got it down in his basement. He still got it down in his basement. He still does. But I want to thank you all for stopping by, and the one for you guys that went over and subscribed to Charles's channel. I really appreciate it. That was really cool. We got him up to, looks like 397 views. Or 397 subscribers. If we could get him up to 400, that'd be great. I'll put his link up here one more time. I'm not going to flood you with it. But if you just go over to Charles and subscribe, and we can surprise him with 400 subscribers tomorrow, he'd be real happy. Yeah. I wanted to add, Sadie Lamp, where are you guys at now? Have you left Texas, or are you still down there? I wanted to ask you, I'm nosy right before I go. That's why I can't get out of here at normal time. Oh, yeah. They was a back-breaking instrument. Heavy. You know what, though? Nothing sounds like a Rhodes. They're so cool. Just a minute. Molly's over here. She's wanting out. My cat. All right, y'all. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for stopping by and talking and spending a little time together and enjoying music. That's what it's all about in this world. To me, that's what makes me happy, and that's why I do it, and that's why I enjoy it. And I want to thank you all for stopping by, spending a little time with me, and keep an eye out. We might keep these Thursdays going. They seem to be working pretty good for me, and my timing, and with my, I have another life too besides just playing around on the internet. I got kids, grandkids, and I am retired supposedly, and I do like to fish, and I like to go out and drink a few beers every now and then, but just a few. Not, I don't drink too much. I don't drink too much. I don't drink at night either. It's just in the afternoon. So y'all have a great day. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you soon.